Hi, I'm Jane King, and this is New to the Street, in person back here at the NASDAQ market site in New York City. This show is all about public, private, blockchain companies, the CEOs, the founders, and the innovators, bringing you lots of opportunities to consider. Here we go.
So people ask us all the time what humus oil is and how it works. How is it different to other things that they've seen before? In general, humus oil is just a way to deliver a reaction to the soil that's natural, that appears on organic material everywhere globally. Wherever you have plant material or collected waste that's an organic base, you will have a collection of microorganisms naturally from the environment where that material comes from. So the groundswell process, which is used to manufacture humus oil, is specifically designed to stimulate the part of that biological activity which rebuilds organic material. There are lots of other processes that you can use to process organic waste, organic residues of all kinds. Most of those processes are designed specifically to break the material down, to remove portions of that material, digest it, consume it, and release various parts of the material to the atmosphere or to other places. The groundswell process, which results in humus oil, is not designed to do that. It's actually designed to stimulate first the breakdown and second the reconfiguration, the rebuilding of the building blocks of organic material. It just so happens that that reaction results, if it goes for some time, it results in the formation of humus, results in the formation of substances that later become humus. And it results in the building in that organic material of the machine, the mechanism, the live biological economy that would normally exist in a healthy soil, and which further downstream builds the elements of organic conversion that result in humus being formed in soil.
The groundswell process allows us to manufacture humus soil. Humus soil is a high humus soil ameliorant. Now, when compared with all of the other products on the market, there is actually no comparison. When you apply humus soil to soil, you do two things. You add humus, but the second thing that happens is that you stimulate the formation of more humus. Now, where that becomes important is when we pair it with Accelerate Bio, which is the liquid biofertilizer that we manufacture from all sorts of putrescible organics. When you apply Accelerate Bio with humus soil, you stimulate bacterial photosynthesis. So if you like, it's a perpetuation of a cycle that allows for the bioavailability of nutrients, the storage of nutrients in humus, and the building of soil carbon over time.
So we're incubating the natural reaction that was there before. We're speeding it up to some extent by providing all the best conditions and some of the food that might bridge a nutrient gap that might exist in the file. And we're encouraging that rebuild process to significantly outweigh the breakdown process. So breakdown has to happen. Things have to be returned to soil in some way or another. But if you leave it at that process, all you'll get is breakdown, you'll get release. So what we've done is to trigger the rebuilding of the building blocks of life. Now, point number one in that has to be you can't build organic molecules, you can't build organic bodies without water. So a key feature of the process that manufactures humus oil is that it stimulates the reaction to manufacture and circulate and provide moisture, which is used as a vehicle to transport the nutrients required for that rebuilding process. If you think about that, that's why we don't need to turn or add things to the pile to homogenise the reaction that's inside a groundswell pile making humus soil. There are water pathways created by the biological reactions inside the pile that allow the nutrient movement within the pile. It allows a homogenization, it allows the solubilization of different minerals that is needed to rebuild, to remake the structures of organic material, the stuff that everybody calls soil organic matter.
The really important part of this, given the dosage rates that we actually apply, it means that it's practical and affordable for broad-scale farmers to be able to improve vast swathes of land. They can also do it without adding to their overall carbon footprint. They won't be continuously on the farm utilising machinery, and they won't have to rely on tons and tons and tons of material being brought from outside their farm.
That's what's happening when you manufacture humus oil, and that's what's carried to the soil when you distribute humus oil on a soil or in a soil.
Skyx Platforms has a series of highly disruptive, advanced, safe, smart platform technologies with over 60 U.S. and global patents and patent pending applications. And with me is Ronnie Cohen, the founder and chairman, to talk about Skyx. You've got a really disruptive technology. So let's just give viewers an overview. What is it the company's doing and what is your technology?
Our technology makes homes safe and smart in two ways. Okay, our first platform technology is a plug-and-play system that when you install light fixtures or ceiling fans, you don't need to spend hours or a long time on the ladder touching wires. You just go and plug and play a ceiling fan or light fixture within seconds. And our second generation all-in-one platform enables a DIY or a builder to take our all-in-one smart platform, plug and play it, and install it quickly to the ceiling within minutes, and then you have a smart room or a smart home within minutes rather than hours, what takes today to, if not days or weeks, to do a smart home. Our technology enables to do it within minutes.
Right, and the technology, you just recently got a CES Consumer and Electronic Smart Home Innovation Award.
Yes, that's really was significant for us because we got many recognitions from the safety industry about our technology and how safe it is, and now to get the tech world understanding what we're doing, that's great to our U.S.-Israeli tech team, and that shows that we are in the right direction, and getting the Consumer Electronic Award is obviously for smart home category. That makes it even more compelling to us. Is really it's a big step for us, and we're very excited as we're very close to launch the product now. So that's a significant push and a significant I would say acknowledgement from the highest level of tech. So we really are very proud and happy to receive that award.
And then also the American Institute of Architects are including you in the continuing education program. So what does that mean for you?
So that I think that's quite major for us as the AIA Architectural Institute, American Institute of Architects, has a continuing educational program where architects when they need to renew their license, they go through, I don't know how many hours a year of certain training. And to get part of that program is quite significant because architects, probably are the most desired people in the world, because every building, every structure you go around, who specs and who creates those structures, and to be in front of them with our plug-and-play safety system, based on our safety and based on how we advance homes, I think is great. And one guy that's involved with us said something really nice, that architects, they don't do the spending, they do the speccing. So they don't spend, they spec, and that's really how they get advanced product to the market, and to be part of that program is quite significant for us.
And so Skyx is moving toward a safety standardization of the safe plug and the place ceiling receptacle for ceiling fans. So explain that, how that works for the company and how that positions you for the future.
So we started working with the National Electrical Code and climbed the ladder with getting 10 segments into the National Electrical Code book. And that's a national code for all electrical for all over 50 states. And that was a long process that we're already 9 years into it, or even more than 9 years, I would say. And we got really a significant position. The last major code change in the US was the GFCIs, when every bathroom today has a GFCI, or what many people call GFI, but that's a receptacle with the switch. So here, on the same path now, we got voted with 10 segments into the National Electrical Code book, and then part of the conditions to go to the next step and become a standardization, we had to go to ANSI NEMA and get their vote approval. So we did this, and that, I think, opened the door for us to come to the architects. So if you look at this, between the National Electrical Code, ANSI, American National Standardization Institute, and NEMA, National Electrical Manufacturer Association, and American Institute of Architects, okay, those are the people really determine the building codes in America, and those are the people that created our country, and all of them are for safety, and our product really saves many lives. There's hundreds of millions of installations probably that people go on ladders and risk their life installing a light fixture or a ceiling fan, when you can do it in a safe way, save time, save cost, and save lives, obviously. So, and simplify the process. So we got a tremendous support that each organization like this is world-leading organizations, and to have all of them with us on our path to standardization is really big for us.
All right, so Ronnie, you've talked a lot about these products, but you brought an example. So can you show us how it works?
Sure. So that's the ceiling receptacle approved by ANSI NEMA, National Electrical Code, and now AIA, part of the education of safety for AIA, the architects, and that goes on the ceiling, and that's the plug that goes on the fixture or ceiling fan, and all you do is plug it in and it's done. So that's it. That's how long it will take you to install a light fixture or a ceiling fan. It's a plug and play system, and here it is, you're done. And it holds up to 50 pounds, actually spec for more, but at least 50 pounds, that's the first generation we're gonna have.
Okay, thank you so much, Ronnie. Congratulations on all your awards.
Thank you so much for having me, and hope to see you next time.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Thousands of people use Phantom every day to access DeFi, NFT, Metaverse, and GameFi decentralized applications. On Phantom, you can trade, lend, and borrow in a fully decentralized way with instant speed and near zero fees. Whether you're an artist or a collector, there's a rich and accessible NFT ecosystem to explore. Join your friends in the Metaverse for exciting digital experiences or play revolutionary Web3 games. Join Phantom today.
Coastal Capital is a lender to businesses, especially for equipment needs. And the company has been in business since 2007. And with me is Kortney Murray, the CEO of Coastal Capital. So great to have you back.
Jane, good to see you. Thank you.
So let's talk about, this has been a rough year economically. We've seen, of course, interest rates go up, inflation's gone up. I mean, how have you stayed ahead of the competition? How have you navigated all of that?
Sure. So Coastal Capital is a little bit different than traditional bank lending. Obviously, we are catered more to, actually, all to business. And so we look at a few different parts, such as the asset they're buying, how long they've been in business, the risk of the deal. So current interest rates really don't affect us all too much because it really is the story of the file before we underwrite. And one of the things that have kept us ahead of our competition is with manufacturing, you know, backed up and things like that, we're able to offer some deferment payment options so people can still buy their asset before it's manufactured and brought in.
I see, interesting. So you've got some flexibility.
We do.
And almost kind of a hedge against interest rates.
We do.
So that's fortunate for you, but the supply chain issues have been impacting your customers, it sounds like.
They have, and so one of the things that we've incorporated is we have started allowing private party sales, meaning if our client finds a piece of equipment that someone's selling, maybe they're selling their business, we're not always having to pay just the manufacturer. Now we can pay private parties.
I see.
And so it allows us to kind of stay ahead of the competition, allowing our customers to get that asset into production today instead of waiting the 6 months for it to be manufactured.
Yeah, that's right. And I mean, I'm sure they appreciate that as well. And there's probably quite a bit of that private sale.
There are.
With equipment, I would think. Yeah.
Yeah, there is. I mean, there's a little bit more due diligence to do because we have to show ownership of the asset and things like that. We want to make sure that they're buying something that's not a lemon. And so we can work with auction houses now and things like that. So we're able to do a pre-approval so they can go to auction and find something that may work for them.
Yeah. Now, do most of your customers work with you instead of a bank or in addition to a bank?
You know, that would probably, most of our customers, when they start working with us, they stay with us because we do have access to multiple pieces of capital, such as SBA loans, we can do lines of credit, we also do equipment financing, but we also work with banks as partners. So when banks can't approve startup companies or companies that might be on their risk portfolio as too high of a risk, that bank likes them to work with companies like ours so they keep their money in that banking institution because we don't hold money. We just, you know, lend it outside of the box. So our exposure is a little bit different than a bank.
Right. No, it's a really interesting way of financing and helping businesses where they may not have an option. It gives them another option.
Exactly.
Financing and getting off the ground. And you have some flexibility in terms of age, caps, education. I mean, explain that too. Like, who would all be eligible?
We do. So we, you know, a lot of banks, they have a 10-year cap on equipment. And so we have, actually, I financed a 1979 baby grand piano, which was kind of funny. We don't have an age restriction on a lot of equipment unless it's heavy trucking. We like to keep it in a mileage range because we don't want to buy an asset to, you know, repossess it and sell it. We want to make sure that our client is happy. So most of the time, as long as it's a strong asset, we can go out up to 30 years.
Okay, interesting. So what's next for Coastal Capital?
We are actually growing and expanding. We have grown our office just kind of twofold. It's been amazing, but we are opening up our own little lines internally, and we are trying to help our customers not only gain the asset, but we want them to gain the exposure of marketing, such as, you know, maybe doing some additional advertising or billboard space. So we're adding this ancillary product to kind of stay ahead of the game.
Now, you're based in Florida. Do you operate nationwide?
We are nationwide, Jane, yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. Great to get an update, Kortney. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yep. Thanks.
Do your employees use Zoom? Do your employees use Microsoft Teams? Professionals need enhanced security. Add Verify's Defender for the only secure, zero-trust video conferencing protection. Your employees, clients, and patients deserve it.
Laura Anthony is the founding partner of Anthony LG and has been hosting podcasts and blogs and writing articles on corporate and securities law, and she is the corporate lawyer for Sustainable Green Team. So we're going to get a little input from you as well, but let's start with Laura. So just tell me about corporate law. Why are you passionate about that?
Oh my gosh, I love building business. I've always been into business and doing transactions. I always knew I wanted to be an attorney in the capital markets. There's nothing that gives me more pleasure than seeing a company close a deal. You know, I guess I'm a deal junkie and helping companies. And,
Yeah.
you know, I picked a lane. I picked securities law as my lane and have learned it very well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell me about your team.
Oh, I have an amazing team. They're all from big firms, and everybody works their butts off all day, every day. You know, we communicate, even though we work remote a lot, we communicate throughout the day, multiple times throughout the day, and we just have a wonderful team.
Yeah, and Thony, she's your corporate lawyer for Sustainable Green Team. So talk to me about, I mean, this is kind of an obvious question, but why is it important to have a corporate attorney?
Well, you know, when you're a CEO of a company and you have vision, you really want to spend time growing your business. And so having a corporate attorney that's diverse like this group is, you know, there's a real incredible amount of depth to have attorneys to do the work that they are the best at doing, and allows us to concentrate on doing what we do best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And keeps you out of trouble, I think.
And keeps you out of trouble.
That's the idea, right?
I mean, you can run compliance. I mean, everything is just getting so complicated.
It's a tough regulatory environment,
Yeah.
and it's not just knowing the rules, right? You can know the rules, but you have to know the process and, you know, the guidance, right? So within, just like in any industry, you know, the way that things work is beyond reading a rule in a textbook, right? You have to know the players, know what's an SEC focus or NASDAQ's focus or any regulator's focus at any given time, and that's shifting and changing all the time.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's really something that you have to be focused on to be good at.
Yeah, and Thony, I know you're traded on the OTC. Does the fact you have a securities attorney mean you might be uplisting, or?
You know, that's ultimately the goal, you know, for any OTC company would be to have an uplisting.
Yeah, okay, so we'll stay tuned on that. And just finally, Laura, tell me about like your ideal client. Like who?
Thony Raynor.
So what makes a good company?
Well, you have to have a team that's a CEO that's passionate about their project and what they're doing, has to have vision, has to know how to implement and execute. So, you know, all clients come to me and they have great ideas, but they can't execute, right? So you have to be able to execute. And Thony is a perfect example of a CEO that can execute, works very hard, has vision, and has the ability to put the team together. And, you know, there's a certain, you know, you have it, right? So, you know, and definitely he has it. But that's the ideal client, and that understands process, right? So, and is realistic about process and growth. It takes a lot of work.
Yeah, that is very important. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for explaining this part of being an entrepreneur. So thank you, Thony and Laura, for coming in.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The Cottages on the Key is a short-term luxury vacation rental company headquartered in Siesta Key, a barrier island just off of the Gulf Coast of Florida. So we have with us Heather Plampin, the president and CEO, and Matt Farhat, the head of business development. And I was reading a little bit about Cottages on the Key. So you had $13 million in revenue annually, over 100 listings, and all of this was a value of excess $165 million, all your properties. So you've got quite a business going there. So Heather, just explain the Cottages. How did it start? How did this all begin?
It actually started out of sheer necessity. We went through the housing crisis. My father and I, in our previous lives from the Cottages, we had our own businesses. Both were very affected by the housing crisis. I was in construction and renovation, and my father was in real estate development. So through that process, we found ourselves in a world of hurt, trying to find a way to make means, and specifically just to save our homes. Any kind of revenue production at that point was something that we were trying to build just to maintain. So basically living in paradise, many people vacation there. It is a touristical type of attraction to go there. So even back then, the Siesta Key Barrier Island attracted many of the tourists from various parts of the world, including the US, of course. So we decided back then that we would put our homes on the vacation rental market. It was very new, very risky at that point. Now it's quite well known, and it's something that is actually a trend in travel. But back then, we didn't know what else to do to save our homes, but to actually
rent them out.
To rent them out.
Yeah, okay.
And so that's exactly what we did. We moved out, we rented our homes, and we produced revenue and saved our homes. We were able to pay our homes off through that process, and also we gained a lot of friendships and relationships by having guests come and stay with us. And those guests decided to invest in Siesta Key and Sarasota, and they in turn wanted us to turn around and rent out their homes for them and do the same.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So a business was born out of a unfortunate situation, the housing crisis that we saw. So now there's some talk about another recession next year. I'm hearing more talk about this. I mean, do you feel like you're well prepared if we would see an economic downturn? You can both chime in on that if you want. Or
I think obviously our proof of concept is very good considering how the company was created. I think also where we market to is that luxury end. So our clients as a whole are more what I would call recession resistant, right? They're multi-generational. They've already retired. They have the higher net worth. So that's one level. And then what we're seeing with a lot of our homes is instead of it being multi-generational, the grandparents, parents, and grandchildren, we're seeing multiple families all sharing in this cost of this luxury home, and they're saving money other ways, whether it be driving instead of flying. Now you're cooking in, so having a home compared to a hotel is going to be more cost effective. So you're seeing a more mindful, thoughtful vacation process, which is still lending well to our market area.
Oh, that's really interesting. Kind of the things that you've seen happen, maybe that were unexpected.
Right.
So what would you say the formula for success is? And how does it work? Like, say I want to rent the place for my family. Well, how would I even get started?
Well, to rent the place as a guest, you would probably be looking for vacation rentals in certain areas on certain travel agency sites. You would find us through those channels, or you can find a property management group such as us by going direct and booking direct. That's a very easy way to find the right property. Google ratings are very important too. I would recommend that if you are going to book a vacation rental, you look at their Google ratings. That says a lot. If you are someone who is intrigued about investing in the area, I would highly recommend that before you ever buy an asset, do a little bit of research, potentially use a real estate agent, but not only that, also use a vacation rental management company that specializes in that market, because there's going to be a lot of things to consider when you go in and buy that asset. For instance, in Sarasota County and Siesta Key Barrier Island and the other barrier islands, there's a lot of code regulated by the counties and the cities. So you want to be aware of that to maximize your true potential and revenue.
Yeah.
More.
I mean, that makes a lot of sense because there's all these things that are local that you may not know if you're coming from in New York or something like that. Yeah.
Local ordinances will help you decide what your primary goal is. And being an investor in that area, when you're looking at those homes that are million plus, to 7 million, you want to make sure that you're getting the impact that you're looking for, but also balancing what you need as an owner to be. So it's an interesting formula that I think works when we specifically talk to the owners about what they need, what they're looking for, and Matt, as the head of business development, that is his entire job. So all he does.
I would lean into that. I would say that having that right dynamic with the owner is crucial, because operationally, being able to operate the home, having seamless transition between maintenance, cleaning staff, guests, we're very sophisticated in that. Our revenue generation, being able to have dynamic pricing that adjusts based on booking windows and having length of stay pricing, where we're able to maximize the revenue potential for the owner, we're great at that. But what we really want is to be able to have alignment with the owner. So knowing what they want their personal usage to be, knowing based on sometimes just what the zoning of the home is, being able to know what type of buyer they are. Are they a cash buyer? Are they a 1031 exchange? Are they is it financing? So understanding their goals, their expectation, and aligning with how we would operate is crucial.
Yeah, no, I'm hearing do a lot of research and talk to a lot of people.
Right.
I think is the best thing to do.
It is true.
Yeah, and what about real estate investing versus, say, the stock market? What would you say are the pluses and minuses of those two different ways of having assets?
Yeah, I think probably the main thing that people look at with both that you start off that kind of becomes a wash, in my opinion, is the appreciation of the home versus the rise of the price in the stock. And both of those are unrealized until you sell the home or sell the stock, right? So when you look past that, then you say, all right, what are the other advantages? Having an investment home, you now have a tangible asset that you can actually physically enjoy, right?
You can't live in a stock.
You can't live in a stock, right? You gotta go online and look only so many times, but you can go vacation on the home, right? So that's one main value. Then the second value is you can leverage the home, right? Whether you do a home equity line of credit, refinance, cash out refi based on the appreciation of the home. You can't really do that with stocks, right? So I would say that those are probably the big differences. And then I would say the one advantage that stocks have is just the fact that it's a lower cost of entry, right? So that's why you see a lot of crowdfunding as a popular way of raising funds for different investment homes, nowadays.
Okay.
So I'd say that would be the one thing that is an advantage for a stock, but with today's age in rental investment, that's kind of washing out as well.
Mm-hmm. So if somebody was interested as an investor, or somebody wanted to come and have one of these properties or use one of these properties or something, where should they go first?
For us, I mean, honestly, I think if they were to reach out to us, we'd probably say go to our website. There should be a landing page where it's dedicated to investors, to people who are intrigued about buying property in that particular area. And also, I think it's important that they know that it's not just that area. We can help in various other areas. The Cottages is basically ready to go nationwide at this point.
Oh, interesting.
We have done a lot of investing in different tools and systems in the last couple of years that now is affording us that capability. So it would be great for them to visit our website, go to that particular landing page, and from there, what they can do is they can strike up a conversation with us. We can interact with them via whatever communication style they prefer, either email or by phone, text, whatever they like. But I think it would be good if they have questions, if they're going into investment specifically for vacation rentals and they have questions about what operationally that looks like, or how they can function, what types of contracts they need to use, or just to help them personally. We're also here to do that. We're here about making the relationships over a long-term period so they can learn from our mistakes, but also we can help them in their own endeavors. It may be beneficial that they come and look at what we're doing and basically duplicate that in their area, or perhaps we build a relationship where we can help them in that area. We're really interested in various regions. Specifically, there's Nashville, 30A, Texas, New York, specifically in Long Island. These are all areas that we feel the market is definitely set and ready to go, and we'd like to join. So we've created the Cottages collection, and that is basically our master company that will be presented to a national exposure. Yeah.
Okay. Very interesting.
Yeah.
Anything more to add, Matt?
Yeah, we've never regretted adding value to others. Like the whole point of our business model is a symbiotic relationship with us and the owners. When they succeed, we succeed. So if those people do have questions and they reach out to me or reach out to our company, we want them to be successful, because when you add value, that's what
Makes
it's about.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
It starts with the relationship.
Right.
It builds from there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Business does, right?
Yeah.
Still even to this day.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Matt and Heather,
Yeah.
Thank
for
you,
coming in and
Jane.
explaining this. Very interesting.
Thanks for having us.
Thousands of people use Phantom every day to access DeFi, NFT, metaverse, and GameFi decentralized applications. On Phantom, you can trade, lend, and borrow in a fully decentralized way with instant speed and near zero fees. Whether you're an artist or a collector, there's a rich and accessible NFT ecosystem to explore. Join your friends in the metaverse for exciting digital experiences or play revolutionary Web3 games. Join Phantom today.
Secure is a platform that allows for emails and instant messaging, and it's secure. They do not sell you and market your data like some of the big tech firms do. And with me is the CEO, Alon Yahi, to explain the company. Let's just start there. Lay the groundwork. What is Secure all about?
Hi, Jen. So Secure is a end-to-end privacy communication platform. And by that we mean any kind of email, messenger, we're going to do voice soon, that you use today typically is not private and secure end-to-end. We offer that between secure users and also outside of the secure network, which is very unique. So we have our star product, which is a secure combo for $10 US a month for consumers, $15 for businesses. You can have just secure mail, you can port your domain as well with us, and then secure messengers. And we have a consumer version and a business version with different features for each.
Yeah, and we're heading toward the end of the year. How does the fourth quarter look for you?
Fourth quarter looks good. I mean, I hear every day about recession. You know, even if there's a recession, which, you know, I don't really see it that much in the street, but people still need to use email and they need to protect. If anything, any kind of budgets people are going to cut are going to be everything else but cybersecurity. Yeah. So fourth quarter looks good, and we're going to meet our numbers for the year, and happy to kind of move into 2023.
And what about liquidity?
Well, we have a lot of cash in the bank. We have enough cash until profitability, assuming that we don't have anything else happening. We've done a lot of metric calculation today. With the market being so terrible, we are always a little bit paranoid to see do we have enough cash until profitability, and we certainly do. We have close to $4 million US in the bank. We have no debt, no convertible debt or anything like that, and management still owns about 35% of the company. So liquidity in terms of our cash reserve is enough until we become profitable.
Yeah, and what about for 2023? What are your plans next year?
Well, we have big plans next year. So first of all, we're shaving about $2.5 million in our budget, and we're still going to plan to double our sales next year. So we have a road to profitability that we put together. You know, 2021 and 22 were the big bang and kind of spending a lot on branding, getting to know us, saying, hey, this is who we are and we exist. 23, we have some B2B partnerships lined up. We're very excited. We're going to push Latin and Central America, and we're going to do SMB, small, medium businesses in the US. So that's going to be the year where the partnerships start to come in, and when you're going to see a lot more small businesses coming in. And we're very much excited, and we're also shaving almost 60% of our cost in order to get to a profitable mode. We believe, you know, probably by the end of 2024 or before.
Yeah, okay. Thank you so much, Alon. Great to see you again. Okay.
Thanks.
Secure, the true solution for your digital privacy and security. Secure is a private and secure messaging and email solution hosted in Switzerland, using proprietary military-grade encryption and Swiss privacy laws, giving you true privacy. Secure doesn't collect or sell your data and doesn't require your phone number or any personal data that hackers target. You can message and email non-secure users privately without the need for others to download Secure. Visit secure.com. Regain and protect your privacy today.
Blue Castle Venture provides clients in Canada and several other countries globally the opportunity to access global markets with an actively managed strategy that takes advantage of the latest asset trends. And with me is David Rojas, the CEO. I have Blue Castle Ventures, and let's just talk about, it's been, what, 6 months or something, or maybe more since we talked. What's the latest with Blue Castle?
It was last time, but yeah.
It was? Okay.
Yeah, no, it was, we've been growing, fortunately. Actually, we have launched new products. So in the beginning, we were handling different products that will emulate banking products in 3 major areas. So one is capitalization, when a person needs to kind of grow their capital. Secondly, to maintain their capital. And third, pension, that is kind of a start a product. And now we launched a couple of products, one's towards people who want to save for their children to go to the university. We have another product for people who have actually business projects and they want to raise money for those projects. So we're helping them with that as well. And we did the first test. Last time I told you that we were working on a product in which we could give some sort of crypto mortgages. We already did a test with a vehicle. So we got a person a month ago, get a vehicle with 0% of interest using our system.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, now that the rates are so high for any type of loan.
Oh, that's an interesting
Yes, so our system is actually working. And it's basically because we do use the blockchain system as our cryptography system to exchange services for cash and everything, and our stablecoin, where we use it as well with real assets. So that's why kind of we are unaffected with all this crypto situation.
Well, that's what I was going to ask about. So FTX, of course, a huge collapse.
I called it last time I was here.
Did you? Okay.
Do you remember I told you, you will see all these managers of these exchanges running with your money? Voila.
Well, yeah, and FTX was the biggest one, but there were some others too, and maybe some more.
Yeah, because they are all entangled one with another. So they have this same kind of business model in which you give them money for air, and then there is no way for you to get your money back. And I was listening to this guy on Bloomberg. He has an NFT company, and he was saying, yeah, we sell NFTs, and there is a big event, and you can buy these NFTs of this event. And they ask him, and does your company buy those NFTs back? And he said, no. And I'm like, okay, you are minting something, where you are creating something, but you don't believe that you can buy it back? Why don't you buy it back for a lesser price and you make money out of it? Why do you have to keep all the money and put the customer in a game in which they buy this thing that has no collateral, they have to find another person who will believe you and pay you more for that. But the person who was the main responsible, he's out of the game already. He already has the money, he already made it, right? So that's absolutely wrong in all points of view. Because if you are creating a cryptocurrency, you have to be more or less like the Fed. Okay, I'm releasing this. The value is the trust that people are putting in it. So Blue Castle has that. We are like the Fed. I'm Mr. Powell in this case. And why our company works? Because our customers buy the currency. They buy products, services, and also plans that we have that emulate banking products. But at the same time, every time they want to cash out, we buy back that cryptocurrency because we have the collateral, right? As of today, and after 4 years, not one customer, not one can say, oh, Blue Castle, I've never been able to withdraw my money.
Well, that was the thing that's terrifying about it, is you can't get your money out when you, and the whole thing about blockchain is, it's supposed to be decentralized, but FTX was as centralized as it gets. I mean, there's one guy running everything with no regulation.
Yeah. And we are being regulation. Before Blue Castle launched, we work with lawyers really hard to put this new model in the framework of the legal part. in a way that our main concern was to protect the customer. Actually, Blue Castle is the only company that is absorbing the risk, and the customers have tools to get back their first investment. So if you put $1,000 with Blue Castle, you will never get out of it with less than that. So we have like a system in which, okay, you are secure in this part because this is an experimental business.
Okay.
So we plan the business, and the way that we are able to plan all of this is that we control the output of the currency. How? Through our products. So we place the conditions, people agree to the conditions of these products, we know how much money could get in, get out, and this way we can plan to work in what is our main kind of economical activity. We buy and sell stock.
Yeah.
And the advantage that we have is that we have both spectrums of the investment. We can go long, we can go short. So it doesn't matter if the screen is red today. We know how to go short. We get advantages of all of this. So that's how we bring the liquidity. So there is an actual work behind. There is not just, oh, I'm buying this or buying that, and you will see what to do with that, and I'm not responsible for anything.
Yeah.
No, in our case, there is a contract, there is everything very clear, then the client knows exactly, and we complement that with education. We educate our customers. I send them weekly emails with information. We give them courses. We explain to them what are the risks, what are these things, what are the other players in the market, and our products are very plastic, so they change with what the market is doing. So we say, okay, we cannot take so much risk, so in the next trimester we can change our products. Okay. So that's how we control the output. So people are secure because there is something that is working.
Yeah. So we talked about regulation a little bit. I mean, what does need to happen in the crypto industry for people to feel comfortable and for us to avoid FTX situations?
I think the regulators have to look at companies like us, that we are creating new ways of being legal and doing crypto business, because we're creating new models, right? So myself, I'm open to work with the American government if they want, to the Canadian government, and see, look what we're doing, it's working, it's safe. This is like maybe a new way for you guys to see how the crypto world will work, because I think that what happened right now is the same thing that happened with the dot-coms in 2000, that they were all failed, but the companies that saw the errors of other companies and just did their own thing like we do, we are the ones that progress. Because if you see our growth is steady. It's not as sexy as, oh, you're gonna get rich overnight. No, it's gonna be steady, because getting rich overnight is not for everybody. It's not gonna happen for everybody. We're 8 billion.
It doesn't hardly ever really happen.
No, maybe the 2 or 3 people who did it first, and that's it. Yeah. But not for the rest of millions of people who are out there. So regulation is very important, and this way you can be compatible with the law. That's why Blue Castle works with no issues.
Right.
We are within the law.
Yeah. Anyway. Well, and it's needed, I think, for the industry in order for everybody to feel comfortable and things to be more transparent. Now, what's in the future then, would you say, for Blue Castle?
So I have always been a big follower of what Sir Richard Branson does. He sees something and he just wants to make it better. Blue Castle has kind of the same view. So we see what happens with the financial industry. There are a lot of advantages and disadvantages for customers and for institutions. So what we have done with these crypto solutions is to take the best of the financial system and incorporate new things in which the customer is not at risk so much, and also that the customer knows what they're doing, because that way they can use better the products. People are just overspending with credit cards. From my point of view, a credit card is just an emergency tool, not an overspending tool. So simple things like that, how to grow your wealth. We see it with customers and ask them, the first thing we do is, what is your goal with this investment? Don't put money in Blue Castle if you don't know what you're gonna do with it. Oh, you don't know? Okay, maybe these examples are good for you. This is what you wanna do. You wanna study, you wanna buy a house, you wanna buy a car. What are those goals? You want a vacation? Now, we struck a deal with a well-known hotel chain. We are offering travel at 25% of the cost, like really high end services for a lower price. So all these deals is just to make your life better. That's what we want to do. Like we want to create, or we want to take the crypto world and make it exist with what we have now with the banks. So we have great relationship with our bank, which is Royal Bank of Canada. So whoever opens the doors to us will have a great relationship because we're not competing with them. We're just a complement of a new trend, right? And this new trend can maybe build better services for the future. Maybe the banks will incorporate things that we're developing in the future.
Got it.
So I always thought that whatever you want to do in your life is how you change the life of others. That's the only thing that matters.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much, David.
No.
Yep.
Secure, the true solution for your digital privacy and security. Secure is a private and secure messaging and email solution hosted in Switzerland, using proprietary military-grade encryption and Swiss privacy laws, giving you true privacy. Secure doesn't collect or sell your data and doesn't require your phone number or any personal data that hackers target. You can message and email non-secure users privately without the need for others to download Secure. Visit secure.com. Regain and protect your privacy today.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to your weekly hack. This is your secure privacy and security segment. I'm Anna Berry, along with Alain Guillai, the CEO of Secure Private Data. Welcome, Alain.
Hi, Anna. Hi, everyone. Thanks for coming and watching.
All right. So many people are still working from home. Remote work is still out there. Some people love it. Some people hate it, but it's there, right? And that means that you have to communicate through your business email and your messenger. So let's talk about some security threats out there when you are communicating through Teams, when you are communicating constantly through your emails, through Zooms. So how are we vulnerable, and what are some solutions that Secure has to counter our vulnerabilities?
Sure. So there's two levels of vulnerability. First is the product itself. The products that you mentioned have all been hacked. Some of them have sold data to Facebook, Meta, and other companies. Some of them have sent the data in China. I mean, everything that you mentioned, they all have had an issue. And several hacks too, in the case of the big companies. The other problem is the infrastructure, because when you're home, right, you basically don't have the same so-called security that you would have in, a 70-story tower building from Goldman Sachs, right? They have amazing security. JP Morgan, these guys spend, billions in their IT and whatnot. So there is a certain level of encryption or security that you would have, even just the way internet works and how it gets to your computer, to the server, and so forth. When you're at home, you're in your little router that anybody can get in, the Wi-Fi that has potentially a password, we're not even sure, and the password could be admin because it's a common password, and your neighbor can hack you.
Oh my goodness.
No, it's scary. During the pandemic, there was a big article talking about how when you call customer support for a bank, and they're in India, for example, or the Philippines, these people were in their little tiny place in a village in India. So you can only imagine the speed sucks already for the internet. And even if they have good speed, they don't have the security and all these encryption. So you're basically giving your entire information from a credit card or a bank or anything that you would have as an issue, just like when you call. Normally during these data call centers or whatever, but during pandemic, they were all working from their little small town. So it's the same thing when we work from home. What I recommend, and the article talked about a lot of the WhatsApp messaging as well. When you're at home, you communicate with your coworker, because when you're in the office, you go to somebody's office or you get together in a conference room, you have a quick meeting, you get back to your desk. Here, it's all via chat. There's many work tools. I can't name them all, professionals or non-professional, like WhatsApp. Most people are creatures of habit, so they'll hop on their WhatsApp. Even the professionals, the ones that are being hacked. And the problem is that all of that information is prone to hacker. So what we offer is this. We offer an email system that when you send an email to someone using Secure Send, you basically connect through our tunneling system. We call it a Helix technology. If anybody goes to secure.com, they can scroll down and see what the Helix is. That means that you can send an email to anyone, and they will need to click to a link which connects them to our Swiss server, read your email. You can send as many attachments as you want without clogging their mailbox. And then the best part is that the recipient can use Secure Reply without having to download Secure, without having to open an account with us. And this whole transaction happens here in Switzerland, a few kilometers from my office. In our one of our data center, we've got more than one, but it's happening here. So that's really amazing, because you eliminate completely phishing and what we call BEC, business email compromise, which is huge. Now, small businesses can't afford to have a data leak and have their customers' data stolen, or if they send a wire transfer to a supplier, that money not to get there and getting to the hacker's bank account. This is, by the way, a super common thing that's happening in finance. They can't afford that, right? Because they don't have like the zillions of the big company. And that's why we're launching our small business packages, our business packages, for like 10 to 15 bucks a month. You have the email and the messenger. The messenger, we have something that we tried to solve, and we found a way by having chat by invite. Because the problem with these messenger or text is that you also need to have the recipient to have the same thing. Mm-hmm. So with Secure Messenger, if you do chat by invite, you can send somebody an email or a text. They click and they chat with you. And again, when both of you are connected, you're talking in Switzerland, or you're chatting in Switzerland. You can also do voice recording, so you can send a voice record. We're launching Secure Voice in April of next year, where you'll be able to call someone in full encrypted. We don't use voice over IP, which anybody can hack. We use our own encrypted system. So it's very unique, and all of that extremely affordable. So if you want to chat with coworker, have groups, etc., don't use those free or big tech type thing that everybody uses, that everybody hacks, that third-party developers develop, that use open source. These are all the leaks. Use something very unique like what we have. That's what we would recommend. But that's where we differ. And when you work from home, you're in much more danger than if you work from your office, simply because your little router that your neighbor's kid can hack, that's not going to be fun when they're going to have all your data and they can resell that data, right? Because they might sell it to a competitor. You may work for a pharmaceutical company, you may work for a bank, you may work for an oil and gas company, I don't know, it could be anything. A service company, you have customers' data on your laptop. Think about that. And all that customer data is going to be siphoned out. So I would be very careful on how you send an email, what kind of messaging app you use. And of course, we offer a great alternative.
Wonderful. And your website lays it all out. It has great tutorials on your website. Yes. So thank you for informing the public. This is super valuable information. I'm always learning so much on our weekly hack.
Thanks, Anna, and thanks everyone for watching.